Solitude is that place where you draw strength from God. Find a place of retreat or solitude. When you're going through hardship, you need to find a place of retreat. It might be in your backyard. It might be at a certain park where you can just go and just get out, and that becomes your retreat. It might be going and getting a massage. Whatever is your place of retreat, you need to find a place of retreat so you can begin to draw strength and rebuild and renew. Find a place of retreat and solitude in your life that reconnects you with God so that you don't become overwhelmed by the constancy of dwelling on your hardship. You've got to have a retreat. It might be, if you can't do anything else, to just run bath water and put your special stuff in there and sit in your tub and hold yourself and just relax and dwell on the goodness of God and just let all of the cares of the world just wash out of your life and just sit there. But find a place of retreat. Sometimes you got to create it in your own house with the budget that God left you to work with as enduring hardship. Because it would be nice if we could all just fly away to Hawaii for a couple of weeks and just take a sabbatical. Wouldn't that be just wonderful if you could do that every time that you experience hardship? But sometimes you got to get a picture of Maui and get in your bathtub and focus and go to that special place and find that as a retreat for yourself. Every now and then I would see my daddy when he was going through hardships. Daddy bought some land out in the middle of nowhere and put a mobile home on it, and Daddy would go up in the woods all by himself. Mama was scared to stay out there with him. She said, somebody come here and kill you. She said, the folks, nobody would ever hear the blast. But he would go there to commune with God and just to restore his soul. Sometimes his place of retreat was going back to his hometown. Daddy would get all of us in the car and we'd drive back to his birthplace. There was nothing there. But he would just draw strength sometime by going to the cemetery and looking at the graves of his relatives. Just going back to a familiar place. And the old school where he'd gone was torn down, and the general store was closed. But there was something about the familiarity of just being on the grounds from where he was born that began to bring renewal to him. Bring renewal to him. And you've got to find a place of retreat and solitude. I'm just trying to give you some keys to practically help you to actually endure hardness as a good soldier. You got to find that place of retreat and solitude in your life, because there is that place that is within your means to be able to go to. And the more shoestring your budget is, the more creative you've got to be. You really do, because hardship will make a demand on your gift of creativity. Number 5, when you're going through hardship, what makes a ship survive when it goes through a storm are two things. I call it the lighten and tighten principle. You go through a storm, there's some stuff you got to get rid of. Storms cause us to lose stuff. So you got to jettison excess cargo. Don't try to hold on to everything when you go through a hardship. There's some stuff that needs to be lost so that your life is not lost. You got to let go of some stuff. You got to lighten. Look at everything in your life and strip it down to the bare. Strip it, just strip it. Let some things go. That's all right. Let it go. You're going to lose some stuff in hardship. Deal with it. Deal with it. That's a part of the process. It means, listen, God can restore stuff. He can restore stuff. Don't you get lost. When they were shipwrecked, you know, the ship was lost, but their lives were saved. And they had to get rid of all of the excess cargo. And there's some stuff that you lose in hardship. You lighten and then you tighten. You got to make yourself more efficient. To say, look now, I mean, if I need to cut this out. There's some other stuff I'm not going to, my luxury thing that I used to do here, I'm cutting that out. I don't need this. That's about tightening. It's making yourself more efficient to operate with what you've got. So you lighten and then you tighten. You lighten and then you tighten. It's like you get rid of excess weight and then you get you a stronger belt. Because now you got some extra slack, and so you got to tighten. They tighten the skift to be able to survive the storm. When you go through a hardship, remember to use the lighten and tighten principle. Whenever you go through hardship, lighten and tighten. You may lose the stuff, but you're not going to lose your life. Use the lighten and tighten principle. That's number 5. Are we helping anybody? Number 6, whenever you're in hardship, this is the time, more than any other time in your life, that you really have to start thinking as though thinking is going out of style. When you get in hardship, it's time now to make a demand on the anointing of the creative gift of God. He's Creator God, and we are created in His image. And that's why you come to places of retreat, places of solitude, to allow you to be able to think. And here, if you will create a place for it. One man put on a bet. He gave a man a birdhouse. And he said, I bet you I can make you get a bird. And he said, I bet you can. He said, I'm going to give you a year and I bet you'll get a bird. And he went out and bought this man the most beautiful, odd birdhouse. And he says the stipulation is you've got to take this birdhouse and put it in a prominent place in your living room. And he did so. And everybody who came to visit him over the course of that year would ask him, oh, this is a gorgeous birdhouse. This is so odd. This bird cage, I've never seen one like this. It was made of wood and had all of this ornate stuff on it. It was a work of art in and of itself. And so many people start looking at it and admiring it. Then they go up and look in it. And they say, where's the bird? Where's the bird? And so many people start asking him where the bird was, that finally he broke down and bought a bird to go in the birdhouse. And this is what atmosphere will do. When you create the atmosphere, it's like the bird cage that will then draw the bird. If you create a place in your backyard for birds, put a bath there for them and put food, and the birds will come. They won't come until you create a place for them. And if you need the creative thoughts of God to begin to fill your life, build a place for them in your life. You have to have a place so that you do your thinking, your creative thinking. Because whenever you have a problem, now I've got to think more now than I ever have. And you ask God to stir that anointing in you for problem solving, and God will bring you a divine solution and show you things that you can do to endure the hardship. God will show you another source of income. God will show you another way of this. He'll show another way of how you got value already in your house and how you can liquidate it and turn it into expendable cash. God will begin to show you things, and His grace, divine ideas will come to you when you think creatively. You love God with your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength. But you've got to realize that God gave you a mind to think, and the anointing will not do for you what your mind is ordained to do. It will not. And so I don't want you to think that ideas are going to just fall to you like ripe cherries off of a tree. You have to think for them. I love something that Eleanor Roosevelt said. She said that it takes just as much energy to plan as it does to wish. And if you would come and begin to plan and say, God, anoint the thoughts of my mind, and get a place and create a bird cage and say, God, now, as the bird is drawn to the cage, so let now your divine ideas be drawn to me. And think. Here's the deal. I don't believe in thinking outside of the box. I believe in thinking while you're in the box so you can get out. Think your way out. God gave you a mind in the midst of a problem. God gives you the solution. Thomas Edison